Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna try to explain it real quick. The basic piece of the gene key. So up here we got life's work, right? And this is the challenge line. So these lines do mean something. This is the challenge line. And then over here we have evolution. So with life's work, this is what you're this is your base. This is what you're going to be doing most of the time. Depending on the line is pretty much how you're going to do it. So for me, I'm a 6'2". So I have heavy teacher lines, heavy experience lines. So often I'm a person that can retain a lot of information, whether or not it's important, all the way down to the point where I even sound like a teacher. And matter of fact, the 52.6 is literally a Buddha channel. So it's called the Still Mountain, and that's like literally the end process. So the 52.6 often starts off very stressful. It's like you become really stressed because it connects to the like 9 channel, which is focus. So there's not much to focus on. You're a person that really just sits still and things just happen around you, and you kind of like observe them and see what you would like in your life. Like, how would you like your life to play out? Like, you see all of this happening, would you like your life to play out like that? So that's pretty much like the 52.6, and the 0.6 of it is the teacher. So coming into this life as the teacher is kind of wild. Or like, and the 0.6 is also peace. It's literally like the last line is literally peace. So you go from your like a little shadow side, or like your low vibrational side, which is like stress, and then you're climbing into this like peaceful side, you know. You climb into your stillness. So that's where you start out. And then like I have this challenge line. So the challenge line just shows you how you evolve, how you get to your evolution, and that's going to be the next phase. So for me, how I get to my evolution and what my challenge is, like I said, is just dealing with a lot of stress. And then the 58.6 is a line of correction. It comes from the gate of correction, the 58 to the 18. So it's just like, it's bliss, right? This line is bliss. And it's like, it's also kind of like a line of pointing things out, and like kind of like complaining. Like it's at its lowest vibration, it's a line that can complain about anything. But the purpose of it, the 0.6, is to literally reach a state of where you have, like, you've seen all the things that need to be corrected, right? And then you do it. And then you do it. You know what I'm saying? You correct that line. You now hang around people. That's the challenge of this, is to really start hanging around people and start being that example of what you want done. But it's not just enough to be the example of what you want done. You must also be around people that want that same thing. And that's one of the real challenges, right? Because you could teach all day long, but there are people out here that hang around you and they do not want the same thing. They do not want the same thing. They just kind of enjoy what you give them and what you sacrifice for them. But they will not be returning none of that to you. So instead of going back and forth and stressing out, ruining your peace, your stillness, ruining your happiness with complaining and being mad and upset all the time, you know, trying to continuously push people, love people through it, and just like really doing the most with your energy for people who simply do not want it, for people who simply do not want it, you could turn all of that energy inward. You know what I'm saying? So later on in your life, around 30, before 30, you really start to realize that you cannot make people. You know what I'm saying? And here we come through the breakthrough. This line right here is the breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? So this is really that 30 line. You cannot make people listen. 21.2. This is in the heart center, right? This is the radiance. This is how one like really shines out. This is how you really stand out to people. It's almost like an aura. You know what I'm saying? The radiance line is a lot like an aura line. So with the 21.2, it's often control. Like that's its lower vibration, is trying to control people, places, and things, resources, trying to limit, right? So the more you limit other people, the more you limit yourself, because they're watching you. They're looking at you. You know what I'm saying? It's not wise to limit other people, because you end up limiting yourself, you know? Again, with the being mad and stressed out, when all in all, you could get people that have the same goal and have the same mindset as you. So you don't have to feel like you have to control everything, because the people that are with you are also saving up. They also want resources. They also want to make sure that they don't live in a place that's chaotic. They're also making sure that they love and be with the right people. These are people that can take accountability. And this is something that you usually don't see in your 20s. So you're a person that typically trial and errors and runs through a lot of people before turning inward and going up on a roof and being like, okay, people that are responsible will just have to find me. Like they're just gonna have to find me. And that's like the radiance. People find you, they find your aura, and they know that they look at you and they know. Like people look at me and they know that like I'm not taking no shit. I'm not doing that. Like I'm not about that. I'm not doing that. I'm real serious about it. You know what I'm saying? People see that and people know that about me. Of course, there are always going to be people that play around. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be people that play about it. But them people not coming home with me. And that's the fucking difference. You could play about that outside. And that's the evolution of this. You go from control to like a type of freedom to like a valor. You know? Where it's like, I can't control you. I'm not going to control you. You just are going to be in a limited time with me. Like, do you know you have 30 minutes and then I'm up and out of here? Like, I'm not about to be around whatever this is. And it's that control, that self-control. So it goes from controlling other people to self-control, self-regulation, putting boundaries on you, what you need to do to make sure that you can maintain your peacefulness and all of that stuff, and make sure that your shit not chaotic. Because that's what this is really about, making sure that you're not chaotic. And that's the energy that you now like send out to the people, you know? Sending out to humanity. How to let people have their freedom and do what they do, and also be a person that's like there for them. You know what I'm saying? Like I can absolutely be there for a person. That person just won't be going through all of them hoops, rings, backwards, flips in my place. Like not in my place. You could go through all that out there. You know what I'm saying? But I can't have you compromise me. I can't have you compromise me. And that's what that's about. That's what the evolution in 21.2 is about. You're not randomly trying to control random people. You letting everybody do their own thing, but they just not about to come over here with that. And then we have the last line, which I forgot. Hold on. And what I just got through saying can be summed up honestly in the purpose line, which is the 48.2. That's the wisdom line. So there's a lot of wisdom that like comes through experiencing experiencing like all of these like trials and tribulations of all of this up here. And then we have core stability, which is core stability. So this is the line where you stabilize and you really start to see this line develop. So for me, my core stability, right, is going to be the wisdom that I've gained from trying to control people, trying to complaining and trying to get people right, get them on that track, get them on track, you know what I'm saying? So that they can be happy, you know what I'm saying? But all in all, eventually learning that the people that are going to sit with you are going to sit with you. You know what I'm saying? People go and people are going to come and people are going to go. You know, and this is the wisdom that you get with the 48, especially the 48.2. It's a real depth. Like this is a gate of depth that leads to the 16, which is the talent line in Gemini. So from Libra to Gemini, that's that line. So from the spleen to the throat, straight to the throat. Beautiful line, as everything needs to lead to the throat. So you have this, I don't have the 16, but hey, Gemini comes and it goes. So the line 48 is really about a collection of wisdom and depth, and just making sure that you're not remembering a bunch of nonsense that isn't helpful, and that doesn't lead to people recognizing your talents. It's also making sure that you don't get lost, you know, because it is a splenic piece. So you could be collecting a bunch of wisdom because you're simply afraid, and that's not something you want from that line. You want to collect what's going to lead you into the future, what's going to hold your hand and take you into the future. Doing things that aren't compromising, learning about things that aren't compromising. Not necessarily getting stuck in the depths, but letting the depths float you on out, you know? Because you start at the top and you go into the depths, but you can't stay there, especially if you're going to relate to others and you're going to relate to the crowd. You eventually have to come out and translate the depths so that other people can understand you and other people can hear you, decipher the details of what you're talking about. Like I said, this is the core stability. So this is that a line of definitely humanity. This is definitely a very community line, as it's gathering of resources. So the 21.2 is one of gathering of resources as well, and waiting. So there's a lot of waiting here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how you read. That's just the beginning of the gene key. There's a whole it's a whole thing going on up in there. So yeah, it's quite beautiful. That's literally the beginning. And so you have this challenge line, you have your breakthrough, and then you have your core stability, the things that really keep you stable. This is just the shell. And then we'll get into the depths a little bit later. We'll get into the depths a little bit later, but that's just literally the beginning, and just before we get into the details. Sorry, one of the mosquito things came up in here. Hold on.